Did you know most men don't achieve any real success till they hit 40? So if you're in your 30s and looking to reinvent yourself, you couldn't have chosen a better time. Whether you're just turning 30 or coming to the end of your 30s, we will look at some things I did to help me level up and become a better man. Starting with changing the way you think. Everything starts in the mind. Your thoughts dictate your actions. When I was younger, all I thought about was having a good time and chasing women. So I ended up wasting my best years on things that led to nothing. Also, I thought my sexual energy was only meant for one thing, but I got this so wrong. I ended up wasting so much time chasing women when I could have been doing so much more with my life. Your sexual energy is a power source and it can be used to achieve anything that you want. If you think your sexual energy is only meant for one thing, you will end up wasting your best years like I did. That's why you have to change the way you think about this natural power source. Once you learn there's more uses to your sexual energy, you can drive that force into your self-improvement, building a better physique, but also building a business. Therefore, you have to start thinking differently about this natural power source that you've been blessed with as a man. If you can do that in your 30s, you will be able to achieve so much in this peak time. But if you don't, you will end up wasting your 30s, 40s, and your 50s on meaningless things. Start to change the way you think so you can achieve everything that you want. Another thing you need to do if you want to reinvent yourself is stop seeing failures as a bad thing. We all experience failures throughout our life, but they contain valuable experiences. So I want you to look back at all your experiences from the day you left school till today, good and bad. And I want you to examine what happened. See if there was any patterns that were showing that caused you to have a certain outcome. Once you start to look at your experiences and learn from them, you will be able to achieve so much. But then going forward, I want you to be conscious of your actions, but also remember those past experiences so you don't make the same mistakes again. When we're reinventing ourselves, we're trying to become better. But if we keep making the same mistakes from our past experiences, we're going to stay stuck. That's why you have to look at your past, but also take valuable lessons from it. So when I look back at my past, I had two main problems: women and shopping. Shopping kept me broke, women kept me busy, so I wasn't able to work on my business, but also make money. So I had to really cut back on these things. Now I'm smiling because I still get drawn in, but once I started to control my shopping, I was able to save money and invest into things. Once I was able to distance myself from women, I was able to focus on my business, but also level up. If you can control the things that are holding you back or the things that made you fail when you was younger, you will be able to achieve so much more, but also reinvent yourself a lot faster. The next step to reinventing yourself in your 30s is changing the way you speak, but also the way you listen. I always thought communicating was about being the loudest person in the room, trying to make everyone laugh, even being the center of attention. But I actually got this wrong. This is the fastest way to not be liked by anyone, but also not earn the respect of other people. Instead, you want to learn to become a good listener, but also become genuinely interested in what the other person has to say. When you do this, you will be liked by other people, but also other people will start to appreciate you. When you become a good listener, you can learn things as well. If you're always talking, you will never learn. But when you learn the art of listening, you can take in so much information. It's unbelievable. I regret not becoming a good listener earlier because it would have helped me in so many situations. I would have not made so many mistakes. I can't tell you how many times people tried giving me the right answer, but I was too busy with my ego and I interrupted and I said what I said and the other person stopped giving me the information. Once you become a good listener, you can learn so much, but also progress a lot faster. If you truly want to reinvent yourself, you have to become a better communicator. And the first step to that is becoming a good listener. The next part is you can't interrupt people. This is the fastest way to piss people off. I sometimes get excited in a conversation, so I can end up interrupting someone. But I didn't realize the impact it was having. It makes the other person feel like you're not interested in what they have to say, which could be far from the truth. So if you want to be liked, be respected, but also get other people to give you their time, don't interrupt people. The third way to reinvent your communication style is not to correct people. I know this may seem a bit weird, but when you correct someone, you make them feel stupid, and you don't want to do that. That's the fastest way to not being liked, to being hated, and to not make friends. That's why correcting people is one of the worst things you can do. If it doesn't affect your business or your personal life, there is no need to correct anyone. Let them be wrong because it doesn't affect you. Now, if it does affect you and you need to correct someone, just be a little bit more tactful. Just choose your words a bit more correctly. Allow the other person to think they are right, but also they thought of the right answer. Correcting people is one of the worst things you could do. I always thought you want to correct someone if they're wrong because you don't want them to look stupid in the future. But correcting people only offends people. So avoid this at all costs. So when you're reinventing your communication style, you want to do three things. Number one, become a better listener. Number two, don't interrupt people. Number three, don't correct anyone. Another way you can reinvent yourself is changing the way you look and appear. Now, this doesn't have to be something dramatic or crazy. All it means is just maintaining yourself a lot better. Every day I trim my beard, even if I don't want to, even if I can't be bothered. So I always look fresh and clean. I ensure I get a haircut once a week. You don't have to do that. You can get a haircut, let's say twice a month or every 3 weeks, not waiting for 6 months. If you can't afford it, find a cheap barber where you can go more often. Invest a little bit of money into some nice clothes. Keep it nice and simple. Buy nice white and black t-shirts. Buy a nice pair of white and black trainers. That goes with everything. Then your jeans can be a little bit funky. But when you put all these mad colors together, it can look a little bit cheap. If you need help with that, contact me. Now, if you're like me and you like buying designer clothes, I'm going to give you one trick. Buy all your summer clothes in winter and buy all your winter clothes in summer. This way you will get the most for your money, but also you'll be ready for when the season starts. Your clothes will be there ready when summer or winter kick in. So when you're reinventing the way you look, just do these three things. Number one, maintain yourself on a daily basis. Number two, invest in some nice pieces. Number three, buy a little bit smart and you will be able to look $1 million wherever you go. The next thing you want to do when you're reinventing yourself is learn new things. This will do two things. It will stimulate your brain, but also it'll give you an opportunity to earn some extra money. You can teach someone something you've learned, which can get you extra money. It can become a business, a lifestyle. It can change your life. When we get older, we tend to think we know everything. We stop learning. But this is the biggest mistake you can make, but also it keeps you stuck. But if you want to reinvent your character, your personality, your imagination, then you got to continually learn new things. This doesn't have to be something hyper technical like coding. You can just learn how to train better in the gym, how to eat better, get a better physique. Once you've achieved that, you can teach someone else to do that and you can charge for that. Once you've learned something, you can teach that to someone else and that can give you the biggest reward in life. It can give you a cash reward, but it can also make you feel 10 times better. Everything that I've learned, I'm trying to give out on YouTube and it just feels so good. Another benefit of learning new things, it'll save you time. We think we have to go out there, make it on our own, make our mistakes, but we don't. We can learn from other people's past experiences, their mistakes, but also their successes. So when we reinvent ourselves, we can come back twice as fast so we can achieve everything that we want. Another thing you want to do when reinventing yourself is stop putting the wrong things in, whether it's the news or the social media. They are designed to trigger parts of your brain which trigger fear, anxiety, but also FOMO. Once those have been triggered in your brain, it can stop you being positive, but also it can stop you from taking action. That's why I don't watch the news, but also I limit the amount of time I'm on social media. Furthermore, the news never changes, it just changes location. If I watch the news, it not only makes me depressed, it makes me not want to work. It stops me from being positive. I just think of doom and gloom. But if I don't watch the news, I can focus on the most important thing, myself. It's not only what you consume online, it's also important to be conscious of what you consume from the people around you. No, you can't choose your family, but you can choose your friends. If your friends are constantly negative, constantly complaining, constantly blaming others, you're going to end up doing the same. That's why it's so important you surround yourself with the right people. Now, finding these people can be hard and it may take a bit of time. Therefore, you might have to spend a little bit of time alone. But this can be good so you can focus on yourself but also achieve the things that you want. And I want you to start putting the right things in, things that will motivate you, encourage you, but also inspire you. Start watching the right YouTube videos, listening to the right audiobooks. If you do, you will be able to reinvent yourself into the person you want to be. Now, if you want to go all in on changing your life, you might want to click here.